Welcome everybody to PATCHCAST. In this video, we're going to be ranking all of the mid laners from shit to OP in patch 26.14. MSI has just happened, and I want to start off this patch. Before we go into Locke, I want to just do a formal apology to NA, because in the last episode, I said that NA wasn't going to win a single game versus Eastern teams, and they outperformed EU. They had a fucking blast versus Humble Live Esport. They had a great series. So I'm very sorry to all the NA players. And NA is better than EU. I'm just going to say it. You guys got it here.
What was the score again from NA versus EU for each team?
Can't remember. I have no active recollection.
I don't think we lost the game, but I'm not sure. We might have to revisit that.
All right, enough EU slander here. At Worlds, we're going to have another attempt here. Let's talk about the patch. Okay, big patch. Okay, we're going to reflect a little bit on the meta, on what we actually saw in MSI, because there was definitely some developments over there. And there's, of course, the big champion that we didn't rate in the previous patch, which is Locke. And Locke has joined the Rift, and let's just have a bit of a discussion of where he was and where we're going to rate him after his changes that he's going to get. So, first impressions. What do you think of Locke?
Okay, so yeah, I'm just going to go through what happened with me when Locke came out. So, when he first came out, I thought, oh, he's like not that good. He's really telegraphed, right?
Yeah.
Like his spells are really telegraphed. It's like really easy to dodge the Qs, right? And I was like, oh, he won't be that good, right? But then as I played him more and I experienced play against him more, I started to realize, nah, this guy is completely busted, right? And I think it's the W that makes him so busted, right?
Yeah,
it's the combination of the wave clear with the W. It's like, because typically against most assassins, what you do is you space their main like gap closing spell, right? So against Cat, you space your Q into E combo, right? Problem with Locke is he has two spells to get him in range, right? Usually he can start with W, tank your entire kit, get on top of you, throw his Qs in melee range, then E to finish you off, right? And it's such a disgusting play pattern. And I think he does fall off a little bit late game, for sure.
Yeah.
Like his fighting can be a little awkward late game, like from playing him myself.
Yep.
Right? But I think his early to mid game is just way too insane, especially in high elo. It's just so disgusting. He is way too good.
Yeah, he's way too good.
Really frustrating to play against. Yeah.
The problem is he doesn't play the lane like normal assassins, because he's got the non-committal wave clear with the Q. And the moment he decides to pull the trigger, right, it's fully in his conditions. It's in his productivity.
He can always leave. Yeah.
He can leave, but he can just full send it and murder you, dude.
Yeah.
And you can't take these small win traits that you usually take into the likes of Kiana all that easily, because he regens it up with his W, and it makes it extremely hard to verse. So much so that I've been permabanning this champ. I've not versed a single time. After the first time I got like slammed by him, that was like 4 days after release. I was like, I can't be playing with this shit again, man. I just have to ban it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, because I think it's similar to Echo. Like, at first I thought it was similar to Echo, right? Because Echo kind of has non-committal wave clear, and then Echo, when he wants to all in, he can all in, and then he has the disengage with the R, the healing from the R, shielding from W. So I thought they were similar. I think the difference is that Locke's Qs are way easier to hit against somebody who's good, right? I think that's the problem. Like, his Qs, because it sets up his next Qs because of the slow. Whereas, like, I think Echo, hitting that initial Q is a little harder, so...
I think also his E is just so hard to
space.
Play
it's
into.
Like really wonky.
Yeah, it's really wonky, and it's so hard if you play, for example, Ari versus him. It's so hard to understand when to actually throw your charm. It's very non-intuitive. I've not figured it out myself. Have you figured out the timing?
Well, no. The only thing I remember is that I played against Locke against Ari. I went like 15-0, and then Ari still outperformed me in a team fight, though. Because I'm a noob at Locke, but I do think like in a big team fight, he's actually not that good. I will say that's his weakness for sure. So like most of the time, what I realized when playing against him is like you just got to survive, right? You got to minimize. It's like that's just kind of the reality. It's weird for an assassin to have to minimize against them, but that's the mentality I have, and it's worked decently. But I do think he's overpowered for sure.
Yeah, so he was definitely overpowered. Now let's talk about the changes that they're making to him. So they're reducing some of the nail damage of his Q, just slightly, especially towards the later ranks, just to give him a little bit less of that upfront burst. They're also removing a little bit of damage from the Q stacks, and it's going to be a little bit less easy for him to hold onto these nails for a very long time. and they're slightly nerfing the health on the later parts of the abilities. So what do you think of these changes?
Yeah, so let's start with the W first. So I allow Locke to maxing W second because of how strong the W is. So I think this will be a hit to the W max second. I still think it's an impressive ability, right? Getting movement speed and attack speed and a Tom Ken shield on an assassin. It's still too overloaded. In terms of the Q, what I don't know enough about him to know how hard it's going to nerf his wave clear, because that's what I'm focused on. Like, is he going to be able to just one-shot a wave? Because before he was like, what he would do is he would just throw his Qs and then E and one-shot the wave, right?
Yeah.
And that was really disgusting to play against. So I'm hoping that this will change his breakpoints, where it's a lot harder for him to just one-shot the wave. If it is, then I think these are good nerfs. I still think he'll be extremely strong, though. I think he's still at the top of the cast, 100%.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that he's very annoying still to play versus, and probably still worth banning as well. Probably not overpowered with these changes. I think that OP is a big hit.
Like Casio level, Kali level, I think.
Very right here, right? Yeah.
Power level.
Yeah, somewhere right here. I think so too. Probably a really good champ to have in your pool if you can play it, because it's going to get banned, guys. It's going to get banned.
Yeah,
so
it's going to get banned.
Stay tuned for more Locke action. I think that it's a cool champ, right? I like the idea, but I think Riot needs a little bit more time to put him in a position where he's a little bit more healthy to verse. But not bad. Go ahead.
My take is that I think his ult is like a completely worthless spell. Like, they should put more power in his R and less power in his basic abilities, because that's what it makes him feel weird for an assassin. I feel like a lot of assassins, like, take a Talon, right? Talon's kit functions because of his ults, right? Like, that's where a lot of the power comes from, right? Fizz like really needs his R to kill someone, right? Zed really needs his R. Like, Kiana really, like, these champions can play without their R, but the R is like the difference maker on these champions. Whereas like with Locke, his W is like his main difference maker spell, which makes it feel really fucking annoying to play against. His R is like worthless. Like, you can get hit by his R, and if you don't get hit by the rest of his kit, it's like it did nothing.
Doesn't matter.
Damage. It's like so useless. So put more power in his R, take some power away from his basic spells, in my opinion.
Great, you got it here. Riot Games. Listen to AJ.
Listen to me.
Yep. Yeah. This guy's from one of the better regions, by the way. So he knows ball, guys.
Top 3 region.
Top 3 region. Okay, great. So we have some changes to Jayce mid. We had him initially at C tier, and I actually have been thinking about it. I honestly think that we slightly misplaced him at C tier.
Really?
Yeah, I've been seeing some Jayce mid pop up in the high elo games that I'm playing, with some like really good mechanical players just blinding it, and it's been good. It's been solid. I think he probably wasn't C. He probably was A or high B.
Interesting.
Yes, I think so. Do they play it on NA?
Yeah, I was gonna say I had the complete opposite experience. The only person that plays it is myself, and I only play it in the right matchups.
Right.
Which is why I leave him at C, because I don't think he's bad. I just think I'm not gonna like sit there and blind pick him. I've never seen a single person blind pick Jayce on my server on mid. Time. They all played top.
Very interesting. Yeah. Yeah, look, I think these nerfs, right, they are definitely centered towards top lane Jayce. Top lane Jayce has been the strongest top on the patch, right? A well-played top lane Jayce it's extremely hard, especially on top lane, extremely hard. But they're hitting him in the sense that they're slightly reducing his move speed on ultimate swap, and they're slightly changing the R hammer resist radius. Now, I'm not entirely sure if they are just fully changing it from 35 to 26, and it's just a nerf, because this is bonus AD and this is AD. But I think that Riot probably made a bit of a slip up, and they just forgot to add bonus here. What do you think?
Yeah, because that would be a buff, wouldn't it? If it was just total AD.
Yeah, I think so too.
Sure that would be a buff, especially if you go Bruiser, like, because Bruiser Jayce is the problem right now, right? And top with like Grasp or whatever, and Black Cleaver and Yomus and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
I do think as well, I don't know how much Jayce jungle is being played in EU, but there's a lot of Jayce junglers in NA, and that is really annoying because you don't need to buy the mirror mana, which means you can buy another lethality item quicker, which with Voltaic and Jayce jungler Red Smite, really fucking annoying. So maybe they're trying to hit that as well with the nerfs. So good changes though. I do think, I don't know, I can't speak for this. I think he's just okay.
I love this. Look, I'm a big Jayce fan, but I think that the resistances on his hammer form...
When they added that to OP.
Yeah, look, I don't think this is... I think this is a typo, right? But I really like this nerf where they're going, because this is just so much raw stats. Like, it's just immense amount of stats that Jayce gets. And especially when he's accelerated, these prevent him sometimes from dying in positions where he should die. And I like therefore that they're changing that. Like, Jayce is a really big accelerator champion. The moment he gets ahead, very hard to stop him. You're smiling. Because of his E?
Because I was thinking, because we were talking about Jayce, I was saying, if he gets nerfed, no more NA Jayce and pro play. That'll be a W for us.
You mean the Dokla Jayce?
Yeah. And we don't talk about that.
It's fine, man. The EU Jayce, we only have Kana that can play this champ, dude.
Yeah.
And he's not fucking European, you know?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, Jayce, I personally think that he's going to be like B tier, right? I think that he's not a C tier champ. I still think that
I still think he's C tier.
You think he's C tier?
Yeah.
Yeah, I also think he's B tier. I think he's still fucking decent.
Okay, let's put it in between then, like low B.
Okay, low B. And what we're going to do is next patch, we're going to reevaluate. And I want to hear everyone's opinions in the comments. What do you guys think of Jayce, right?
Yeah.
C or B? Put it down below. Next up, we got a long-awaited change. A very, very, very important one. Because this champ has been in the gutter. I don't think it's been played in MSI. Has he been played?
It was not.
No, just completely ignored. Dog shit, huh?
Yep.
Now, they're fixing a lot of Azir bugs. What was the problem with Azir, AJ? Why was he so bad?
Yep, so I don't know. I hate, first of all, how they put this as a buff, because bug fixes are not supposed to be buffs. They're supposed to just be bug fixes, right?
Yeah.
So I might miss some bugs, there's a lot, but basically his W was completely bugged on applying effects. So Scorch did literally half damage on Azir with his W. It applied, because his W applies on hit effects at 50%. It is counting Scorch as on hit effects, so that did half damage. Leandri does half damage. PTA doesn't work. Hellblade does half damage. Lethal Tempo does half damage. And there's probably some other bugs I'm missing.
Conquer, I think, too.
Conquer doesn't stack at the right rate. So basically, every single rune doesn't work on him, on a champion that needs early game runes to play, right? And I think what's funny is I actually think Grasp, because of the bug, was rebuffed. So I think a lot, and Comet is like buffed because of these bugs. So I think a lot of the like Azir OTPs in Korea were going Grasp and Comet and some weird like funky crap like that.
Right.
But he was just so bad, so bad. So they're basically just making it so the runes work normally. That's a TLDR, which I don't know if you want to call that a buff, because the game should have it so the runes work properly on your champion anyway. Will this make him pickable and pro again? I think so. And the best of 3 fearless or best of 5 fearless, maybe not first pick, right? Because I think even before the bugs, they weren't first picking him after the last headed nerfs. But I think you get a good game for him, and he's playable for sure.
Yeah.
So definitely not, because he was at bottom D before.
We had him all the way at the bottom, dude. We almost had a new tier for him.
Yeah.
Where do you reckon? You're the Azir expert, right? Do you think he's going to move up to C a little bit more?
I like C. I think C is viable. Like I think it's just Azir's one of those champs where, as long as he's not so severely understated, like you can play him in the right game, and if you're good with him, right?
Great.
So I think he'll be okay.
Love it. Azir in C. I can see it. So I want to talk about, we were talking a lot about Pro, right? And I think the evolution of the MSI patch was very, very interesting. Yeah. Because have you watched like the tourney start to finish, like bits and pieces about drafts and stuff like that? So I want to talk about Syndra. How did you experience the evolution of Syndra throughout the tournament?
Yeah, it was interesting because I didn't see her as much as I expected at the start. And
she
started picking up a lot of traction very quickly.
Exactly.
Very, very quickly.
I swear at the beginning, the teams, they didn't caught on yet how strong that this champ was. And I think in today's series, she was perma-ban, right? Yeah, 100% ban in HLE, BLG. And in the series before, you saw like very early Syndra picks going on.
Yeah.
So, honestly, I'm going to be honest, Syndra's fucking strong, okay? Syndra's fucking strong right now. This is an amazing champion at the moment.
We'll say part of it is the flex to bot lane, right? Because it's evolution of bot, right? Like in pro play, all the roles intertwine with each other. So I think having your Syndra be able to go bot and pivot it is very, very powerful, right? Because you can offset some of her weaknesses if you put her in bot in the right game.
Correct. I've played an immense amount of Syndra over the past few weeks. Over the past 3 weeks, I've played so much Syndra, and she is very good. Okay, I've played the hard matchups. I've played the Victor. I've played the what other matchup? I've basically played every fucking matchup. I've played the Zed. I've played the Katarinas. I played all of them. And honestly, the bad matchups feel playable. The moment they counterpick me with Victor, I feel like I can stand my ground with my Qs and I can actually get access to the wave. And that's something I've never felt before in Victor matchups. So this champion is OP, guys. It is OP. Abuse Syndra now, absolutely. The fact that you're not abusing her is crazy. Oh, you're perma-banning her?
I abuse the ban button, that's what I do.
Yeah, I have to abuse the ban button on this Locke champ, dude. Well, fair enough. So yeah, look, if you guys are interested in learning and picking up Syndra, check out my Coach Mysterias YouTube channel where I've got a full Syndra guide on there. Very good educational watch. Big recommendation. Next up, Vex. AJ, we got some questions about Vex. Can you remind me what these questions were?
Yeah, so I think let's first start with the discussion around Vex, because she got buffed, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then we talked about how you didn't like Vex, right? But I wanted to push her up into C tier.
Yeah,
right?
she was in C. We put her in C. Last patch.
From D, yeah. From
D to C,
right?
Correct.
So let's first start with the recap, right? So let's just take a look. Let's look at the recap of Vex, and we'll just take a look at how she's been doing ever since the buffs. Win rate's pretty good in Master Plus, to be honest. Like 51%. That's pretty solid, I would say, for a champ that's, been kind of mediocre for a long time. So I think the buffs did land. They actually did land. I think they did stick. And again, I think, like I was covering, you gotta play Vex like you're playing like Ari with Blackfire Torch, and you're kind of waiting to go in, right? You're not playing the full burst Assassin build, in my opinion. I think Blackfire Torch is way better. Yeah, if you look at the win rate, actually, the win rate at Blackfire Torch is way higher.
I'm gonna be honest. I can't say yes or no on this, dude. I've seen zero effects. I still think this champ's completely doo-doo.
Really?
Yeah, I think this champ's so
I think I'm biased because there's a Zoe OTP on my server who also plays Vex, and he makes Vex look pretty good, and he's usually a high challenger. So I think she's good. I think she's okay, right? Okay. Now the questions were, why is she not higher? That was the questions. Actually, a lot of people were wondering why.
Can you read up the questions? What were the exact questions?
Yeah, so the question was from this student said, why do you hate Vex so much? She is very strong in some matchups. Of course, she is not blindable. Same as the Syndra or many other champs. Playing Vex as a mage sucks, but she's not class mage to play first tempo to use your passive. I think you're playing her wrong. All right, so yeah, let's talk about what C tier means for us, guys. Because you just described what C tier is, my friend.
Exactly.
C tier does not mean bad. C tier D tier is dog shit. It means like don't fucking pick these champs. That's what D tier is. C tier means they are good if you have the right conditions, as you wrote here, right? SFG Mona is his name. Yeah, you have to use your tempo. You got to use your priority. You got to use your passive. Guess what? You can't do that in every matchup. You're not doing that. You're not doing that against a classic control major like Victor.
No.
You're not doing that against Cassiopeia.
Yeah, Cassio.
Syndra. You are not doing that. Even against Rise, you're not doing that, right? Which, guess what? Those are all the meta champs. So you're gonna really struggle to play Vex how she wants to be played. So to say you're playing her wrong, well, maybe. I mean, we're not Vex OTBs, sure. Maybe we could, you can optimize them more. But again, this tier list is relative to other champions, right? Like if you have to min-max every single little thing you're doing as a Vex, that means you have to play significantly better than your opponent. So I don't think that's an argument for placing her higher on the list. So I think she deserves to be C. The definition of a counterpick champion.
Very good. There was also another guy that put a question about Vex. Yeah. What was that question about?
He said the buffs are nothing special. This is from Expats MT. Due to the nerfs to other big counters like Ori, she deserves better than C tier. He would put Vex in A tier. Well, the reason why, so A tier means that you can pick her pretty much every game. You're gonna have a good time, right? So let's just look at the list of champs. Are you gonna have a good time against Syndra? Absolutely not. You are going to have an awful time against Syndra. Cassio, awful time. Rise, awful time. Victor, awful time. Clay, awful time. Yeah, like literally like over 50% of the champions above her, you're going to have an awful time against, right? Yeah. So look, I don't think she's good enough to be picked in that many games. That's the reason why she's not A tier. I could see argument for B, maybe, but I just haven't seen her enough personally. I think having to play a non-assassin build as an assassin should just show how weird she is, in my opinion. So yeah, I still think she's not amazing. And if someone could prove me wrong, and there's a lot of Vex players who have success who get to high elo with Vex, I'll change my mind, right? But I just haven't seen it.
Yeah, so one of the few things I want to mention, right, when it comes to Vex, is if we look at her win rate changes, right, you see that the buffs actually didn't do that much because we got some old fucking data in here. The win rate's been on the same trajectory here, somewhat. We also see that the pick rate's not really changed a lot, right? Especially if you look at the Diamond Plus pick rate, you see the pick rate's actually like extremely low. And people tried it on the buffs. You see how all these people tried? They immediately gave up. Within a week, they were like, fuck that shit.
Not that good. You can't take any majority games. Yeah.
Exactly. So Vex, honestly, is still mostly played by players that OTP her, got an insane amount of mastery, which artificially inflates her win rate because mastery, against champion mastery is just the key, right? That's just how it goes. So Vex, guys, is fine. In the right matchup, in the right game, you're going to be fucking useful. But if you do not meet those conditions and you do not get yourself a good draft or you're up versus Mr. Mundo in the side lane, you're going to get fucked. So that's why she's a counter pick champion.
I think it's also important to reiterate again, guys, that this tier list is meant for Apex tiers, right? So you want to put like you're like, let's say you're an Admiral player and you want to start to understand what makes good champions good in high elo, and you want to slowly just start to learn more about the game, or you're a massive player trying to push the ladder, right? This tier list is designed to give a high level overview of your champions at the Apex tiers. And yes, Vex in lower elo, right? She's gonna feel a lot better than Vex in higher elo because the players are gonna be a lot worse at avoiding skill shots, right? You're going to be able to find good targets. You don't have to worry about side laning as much, right? And then Vex is gonna feel really good. But as you get better at the game, she's gonna start to feel worse and worse and worse.
Correct. Beautiful. Any final notes on Vex?
Nope.
Great. Xerath, we had another question. Why is Xerath in C tier? Well, I think there's a lot of similarities between Xerath and Vex, actually. In the likes that it is just sometimes really hard for Xerath to play out his identity as a champion. Xerath is bound on getting a decent matchup on mid, and getting a decent matchup can be very hard. If you play into any of the faster mages or assassins, you're gonna lose wave prio, you're gonna really struggle beating up against them and getting first move. Plus, playing out the mid game is going to be incredibly hard because it's very hard for you to access sideways and move in transition towards your team where you want to create these ARAM-like positions and these poke-like positions. You usually get out-tempoed in the higher ranks. I played against a Xerath, I think. I blinded Syndra on like blue 1, and there was some guy that thought, I'm going to counterpick this guy with Xerath. I think he went down like 100 CS at minute 20 or something like that. It was just completely unplayable. Like, it's not even a good matchup for Xerath because you just play the wave better than him. You stand outside the wave. If you just know the tricks, it's so easy to play into Xerath. That's probably one of my favorite champs to verse, by the way, Xerath. I feel like I can't lose into that champ.
I think his X factor is the R, though. Like, that's definitely what makes him, because the argument is, why is he not D tier like Ziggs and Vel'Koz? And like, I think we said this before, but the reason why I think the X factor from Xerath's ult is what makes him somewhat playable, right? In my opinion, right? Because you're like Karthus, you have a Karthus R pretty much on a much shorter cooldown, and that helps a lot. You like playing an artillery mage, and you can impact the side lanes really easily, even with no prio. It's not bad, right? And so I think that's what gives him some amount of viability. But you're not picking Xerath because you're going to dominate lane. Like against good players, that's not going to happen. It's just literally not going to happen.
Yeah, and there are some games, right? Just like, for example, you picking, let's say, Cast in some games, right? There's some games where your champion is Thanos, right? If you play into a fucking Lulu support, right? And it's a really slow game and the enemies have a Karthus jungle, extremely slow farming Karthus Lulu combination, right? Suddenly your champ is Z tier, right? Because it can't die. It can use its range advantage. The enemies can't pressure through side. You're not under kill threat. Then this champ is insane. Hence is why he's good in certain drafts. And he's a perfect C tier champ. And I think that's a great place for him to be in.
Yeah, and the other thing I want to add is that as a mid laner, we're kind of one-to-one with junglers, right? We share the same fate. So if we think about the jungle meta right now, okay? Neferi, Kiana, Jarvan, Zin. Not a single one of those champs is good for Xerath to play against, right? And if they're on your team, you're not going to have fun being Xerath with those champions either, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can argue Jarvan, but the other ones, definitely not, right? So it's like the jungle meta also influences, like, good luck playing against a Rengar and a Fairy jungle, and you're Xerath. I don't know what you're supposed to do besides go down 100 CS. at mid game to ARAM,
Yeah, it's ARAMing. Just hard. It's just really hard. And you know what question I get? And it's a very interesting one, right? Because there's also guys going into our coaching sessions with this question, and it's actually a really good question. Why don't we send the AD carries to the side lane and we then play mid lane as an artillery mage? That could be a good fix, no? Because then we can poke and then we can get control. Why don't we do that, AJ? Why don't we send the AD carries to the side?
Because the ADCs share the same fate. That's the problem.
Exactly.
Right. You can't. Your ADC is going to be just as vulnerable, and that's why. By the way, this is a perfect segue to talk about real quick why bot lane mages are so dominant right now.
Yep.
Because guess what? ADCs and mages have the same exact weakness. You know which lane gets access to mid wave and mid game for free? Guaranteed? Your AD carry, your bot laner, right? The person who goes bot lane. It's free. So that's actually, in my opinion, the real reason why mages are being picked a lot. Right, and bot lane. It's like they can minimize, you get out your support roam, but then you get free access to mid, right? You get all the mid waves now.
Can you clear faster?
Your mid laner is probably a champion that can side lane. Like if you have Ahri mid, Xerath ADC. Ahri can go side, and then your Xerath can be mid, and you're happy. But if you have Xerath ADC and Xerath mid, neither of you can go side, so just a dead lane.
Yeah, correct. And the thing with mage bots as well, right, is that they're really good at clearing the wave fast. Right, they are outranging the enemy. Mid lane is a very short lane. Right, imagine playing Syndra versus fucking any AD carry on mid lane. They can't get close. Right,
you can never get prio.
It's just so OP. Right, and I think this is a really really fun segue that you're making here. Do you think we're gonna see more mage bots in the near future?
I think so, because what Riot need to do is they need to solve the problem of mages and ADCs being outside. Like there needs to be some way for the game for those champions to be able to side lane, right? Because the fact that they can't means that they have to be played bot, which means as a mid laner, I think you can kind of see the weaker the side laning champion is, the lower they are on their on our list, kinda, right? Like you can see if you look at the champs in like D tier, they're really bad at side laning, like awful, right? A lot of C tier champs are not amazing, right, at side laning. B tier champs still pretty bad. Some of them are okay, etc. Right? So it's like there's a kind of a 1-to-1 situation there. So I think players are starting to recognize, like, okay, mages bot and ADCs have the same weaknesses, but mages bot have a few more strengths in terms of the wave priority, which is king in pro play, right?
Yeah.
It's having priority over the wave. So I think that's really where the rise of mages are coming in.
And another thing is, mage bots is unskilled because you got yourself a Rel or a Nautilus, right?
Yeah.
And it's just you're not skill shotting anymore, right? You just land your spells, and that's the interesting part. Why these champs are also so. Imagine playing Lux on fucking mid lane versus some LEC pro player with like 9 MS Frankfurt server, right? You're not a single.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, compared to you play Zoe Lux bot and you guys have a short lane and Zoe's throwing E on a 3-second cooldown under their turret. It's like the difference is insane.
I've been getting out the field on bot lane, right? And I'm telling you, these fucking bot laners can't click the mouse.
Yeah. You're gonna make some volunteers
mad the mouse, man.
It's really funny. And all seriousness, the other thing I want to say is that range supports are also a lot worse right now, which means that ADCs usually need some sort of battery to make them really strong, right? Especially the hypercarry ADCs. Whereas mages are the inverse. They want CC so they can burst someone down. So I think what Riot should do is either solve the problem where more champions can side lane, like change the game somehow, right? To allow champions that can't side lane to play the game a little better. And or change more supports to be more viable. So that way mages like can't just play the game with an engaged support every game.
Kind of what they had at the beginning of this year, where we had like the Karma and the Lulus.
Karma,
You had that meta a little bit more with the range champs, but they were sick of it and they decided to nerf range champs and buff melees. But then they just completely didn't expect mages to just take over, right? Which makes sense. I think we're going to see a lot more mages, guys. So stay tuned for these champions. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about Corki. Corki is getting some small changes. Small AD growth. It's actually kind of decent, 0.5 per level. Especially on mid lane, because he's going to be leveling up a lot faster. And his R passive cooldown reduction auto also gets reduced to the later parts of the game. So not an early in buff, but rather a little bit more of a scaling buff on Corki. Now we had Corki in the, I think it was either bottom D or C tier. Probably C tier next to Lucian's where we had him. Do you think this changes anything for Corki?
I think it's very similar to the Triss change. Very, very, very similar, right? Because Triss got that 80 buff, and all of a sudden people are picking Triss and having like some decent success in mid with Triss, right? Yeah. Because kind of backpedaling, what we talked about earlier was the strength of side laning. Triss and Corki can side lane as a mid laner. They can, because you can get tanky items, or you get your armor boots, get your Triforce, or whatever you want to buy on your Corki. You can take your resolve tree. You're pretty happy. So I think that these changes are relative in strength to Triss, the Corki changes. So I think if Triss is A, I think Corki is going to be almost as good. Base AD growth on a mid laner is going to be quite strong.
We really need to talk about this, though. What's happening here? Is she ass?
I played her. She didn't feel too terrible. I mean, the stats don't say otherwise, but
yeah,
from my anecdotal experience, she felt pretty solid. She felt okay.
Let's do some checking.
I'm very curious to see pro players playing.
Yeah, I want to see if any pros have played it. Because it did notice that they just didn't pick it in MSI. They're like experimenting with it, but not really sending it.
They're not like constantly playing it, huh?
They are playing it a bit though. Like this is not a bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting actually, because I think that this Triss mist shouldn't be terrible. If you look at what they did,
I think people just suck at her. I think that's
you think that's it?
The thing. Yeah.
Yeah. She's
hard. She is not easy to play with.
It's a bold move to keep her in A with these stats, right?
That's true.
But if you are fucking positive, right? You're from the better region here, right? If you can say from anecdotal experience that Triss
from my experience playing her, she felt good. She felt like I would be happy recommending people to play her as a mid lane champion, right? Okay. So I think that warrants A tier, in my opinion.
Okay, let's put
I would say the same thing with Corki as well.
Do you think Corki's A? I think that Corki is. I wouldn't put him in A.
I think so. Really? He's A. I think they're similar. I think they go hand in hand with each other, Triss and Corki.
I just think that these buffs they're too slow for him. I think he likes a little bit more of that early power because he's such a stat checker.
Well, okay, think of it like this. So that's your level. You get to level 6. That's 3 extra AD. That's a third of a longsword. It's 100 gold extra. That's pretty good, in my opinion. Plus, you go Dorn's Bow, right? Now, a Corki mid. So you get attack speed, which multiplies your AD, right? Which means you're weaving in more auto attacks. So, let's say you go for a trade at level 6 and you W forward and you auto like 4 times with your E armor shred with the 3 extra AD with all that attack speed. I could see it. You do extra 40 damage. Then the next trade you do another 40 damage. Then maybe that forces them to reset because you have like 300 health and maybe they have 150. I don't know. I think it could be good. I've already seen like a few months ago, like some people were playing Corki into Zeka's Aurora. I was studying a lot of Zeka VODs. And there's a few people picking Corki into him. So that was before any buffs or anything either.
You know what it is? I think that I want to be a little bit conservative with the Corki. Okay. I'm happy with putting Triss here as a little bit of a standout pick. If Triss pops up in a few weeks, right, or a few patches, because it sometimes takes a little bit of a while. You saw how fucking long it took before the pro players started playing this champion more often, right? Then you're a fucking visionary, and we're gonna get back to this Tristana champion and this Corki champion in the next few patches. We're gonna keep a close eye on them, especially if we see them in solo queue. And for you guys watching as well, if you have any experience with these champs, let us know what you think of it. A tier, B tier, C tier, maybe even S tier. Talk to us.
I think just part of me as well is that I'm sick of seeing only EP champions in mid. Right?
I love it.
I love it. Everyone asks, what AD champ can I pick in mid? It's easy. I literally can't even recommend one.
No.
There's no easy AD mids.
But so, I think that's always the case, dude. None of the AD mids are easy.
You don't think Neferi is easy?
Yeah, Neferi is probably only one. CS assistance. Remove that shit from the game, please. Isn't that crazy? That just once every wave, she just gets a free creep?
Yeah. Because I think they kept them when she was a really shit champion, right? Like when she first came out. When she was like a really, really bad champ, they like never removed it.
Yeah,
I think she needed it back in the day when she was really bad.
I don't know, man. Every single time I play versus this champion and I see one of these doggies, I literally want to just like harass her onto one of these last hits, and I see one of these fucking doggies walk up and get the creep for her. I don't know, man. That it breaks something in me. That passive.
Too funny.
Okay, final thing I want to talk about. Our predictions for MSI. This champion has been 100% Big Ben, no?
Yeah. Do you remember what our predictions were? What both of us said?
Yeah, look, I didn't say Orianna for sure. I said Syndra, Ryze, Cassiopeia.
Syndra.
Yeah. I said these champs. We're pretty common, these champs. eventually, especially Cassio.
Yeah, I think we did say Ori wouldn't be in the top 3, and she was. Or did we? I think
Maybe
we did
you
say
said.
that, like, yeah, because I think I said the pairings with the junglers are still too good.
Right. Yeah, right.
Something
that
like
was
that.
it. I think you mentioned her. But
Yeah.
let's reiterate finally on why Ori is not good in solo queue and why she is good in pro, because there's going to be questions about it.
Where do I start? I think the biggest thing, let's start with why she's good in pro. Well, like we just said, it's because of the pairings with the jungle, right? So when you're playing in this and with synergy, right, with your jungler, you're on voice comms and you guys are setting up your waves properly. You play Nocturne Ori, Neferi Ori, Jarvan Ori, your combo. It's very easy, right? Very hard to react to. Really good. Second thing is that I think even despite the early game nerfs, when you're really, really good at her, you still generate a lot of early game priority, which is really important, right? Like Ori versus Akali, you're still getting priority on the first 5 levels. Really important for pro play. Now in solo queue, there's so much random chaos happen. So maybe you could be playing Ori versus Akali, and your jungler like takes all in a level 3 or something, and that fucks your lane. Well, there goes a lot of your early game strength, right? And yeah, I think just it's harder to synergize with your team as Ori, and kind of because like Ori's strength is like she's like some utility and multi-threat and some good laning. So you can't really leverage that as well in solo queue. I think that's the key thing.
Yep, love it. Exactly, and in solo queue, she's also really snowbally in the wrong direction, right? It's very easy to get jumped on, die with your low base stats, and just get destroyed.
Yeah.
You got a lot more safety in pro play. You got way more information. It's just easier to play versus high threat. In solo queue, it's harder. There's a lot of high threat champs going on in the meta right now. I see it everywhere.
Yeah,
high threat.
Yep.
Okay, great. I think we got ourselves a pretty cool list here. I like how it looks like. I think in the next patch, we're going to do a little bit more of an investigation in if we're on the right track. I hope Riot's going to push a little bit more mid changes, because I do think it's fun to have the meta shake up a little bit. But as long as you keep Syndra OP, it's all fine, right? Then you do you. Any champs you want to see change next patch?
Dude, I'm so sick of Riven mid.
Get that shit out. Yeah.
I play against Viper.
We should talk about that. Jack of all trades and Immortal Path changes. And Rocketbelt, dude. We forgot about the biggest fucking fish in the entire patch. Okay, let's talk about Rocketbelt first. Okay, we can't forget that shit. AJ, Rocketbelt. Very simply put, active cooldown goes from 40 to 50. Decent. Stats, minus 10 AP, plus 50 HP. Very interesting change. So, what does this mean? Okay, gold value-wise, the item is just slightly worse. Especially for mages, because mages like the AP. And we do like the HP as well. But this 50 HP is not the difference of what we like about this item. We like this AP way more. The active cooldown, honestly, I also think this is kind of whatever, right? I don't really care about this. It's nice, but I don't think this is super big. I think these stats is the most important thing. Do you think Rocketbelt's out of the meta, or do you think it's still going to be built?
I think it's still going to be built.
Still going to be built, huh?
Yeah, I don't think this is going to change enough. It doesn't swing it enough, Like, 10 AP, it's a lot. That's 200 golds. 50 health is a little bit less than that, but like, you're still making use of the stats. It's still a really cheap item. You're still getting, a mini Cosmic Drive for, 75% of the price or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you're spamming the active every 40 seconds. I would hope you're not. Right,
I am.
So
gotta get that cannon.
Maybe you're Aurora or something. Like you Rocketbelt forward for the trade, but on the mage, like the traditional mages, no way you're spamming it every 40 seconds. So I think it's still gonna be completely fine.
Yep, I think so too. I think that this definitely gives a bit of an opportunity for Cosmic Drive to get back in, right? I think there's now angles where you want the Cosmic Drive over the Rocketbelt. I think it's just a little bit more specific. There's one more thing that I really want to talk about, which is probably the most important change of the Rocketbelt, is the item path. I think that the item path of Rocketbelt was what made Rocketbelt so good as well.
Right.
Because you can buy Alternator. Imagine buying Cosmic Drive and you're stuck on the Aether-Wisp or the Fiendish Codex with the Kindle Gem. It's just not strong items. This Alternator fucking hurts, dude. If you get this item on Syndra, BFT plus Alternator, you can kill someone. If you get BFT plus Kindle Gem or BFT plus Fiendish Codex, you can't kill someone. You don't have enough damage.
Right.
So what they're changing here is they're still getting the Alternator, which in my opinion makes it really good. But they're adding Kindle Gem, which is not a good item for this item.
It's a bad item in general.
It's just, you pay 800 fucking gold for, 10 haste and 200 AP? Crazy stats, no? You pay 150 HP for 400 gold. So we pay literally 400 gold for 10 haste, and what is it? Yeah, it's just
50 health.
Yeah, it's just low damage. But I think the ruby crystal on the other hand is fucking good to get in the build. And I think what you can do is you can do alternator, double ruby, and there's going to be champs first buying this item, and we're going to see. Listen, we're going to see the new. We see the new catalyst of eons here. Yeah. With Rocketbelt. They're gonna abuse the shit, man. You can already see it, right? Double ruby crystal Victor running into your lane.
Yeah, I don't like the way they changed this item. They should have made it more expensive and made the stats higher. Like, this is so stupid because it's so cheap.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
We're literally gonna see a fucking Victor with double ruby crystals come into the lane versus assassin champions. Be fucking immortal. Really and still being able to then proc this stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I think that this may be a buff to the item.
We'll see, we'll see. Not excited for it though. I hate that, dude. Playing Yone against Rocketbelt is
it's horrible. Yeah, I think it's so toxic for the game. It should be in there, right? There is champs that should buy it at certain conditions, but the problem of this item is the money. It's too cheap.
Too cheap, exactly. It should be more expensive.
Make this Cosmic Drive value stats and Cosmic Drive value money, and there's going to be people not buying this item because this item, you spike really hard at 3 items. You got to keep in mind that every item spike is a multiplicative thing, right? It multiplies with your previous items. So the fact that you're 350 gold faster, a Dark Seal were faster on your next item comparatively towards Cosmic Drive makes this item so incredibly overpowered, right?
Yeah.
And of course, the active. It just has everything in that regard. Probably still going to be built. We need to rethink these changes here, right, Gins? Final thing, let's talk about Riven, right? Because they are nerfing the shield and the damage increase from the Immortal Path. Thank you. Great change. And they are hitting Jack of all trades fucking hard, by the way. Yeah, dude. So what they're doing is they're adaptive at 5. Used to be 10 adaptive, and they're now bringing it back to 6 adaptive. So for AD champions, instead of 6 AD, you now only get 4 AD. That is a lot of percentage changes.
Nerf. That's almost a 50% nerf on the rune.
I think this rune's not going to be taken anymore.
Yeah, because you still get the haste, right? So you still get a lot of
right. You get the haste. Yeah, that's nice. The haste is
so it's not actually 50% nerf, but you know what I mean? Yeah, that's like... I was going it just for 5 stacks in some of my mage champs, right?
Always 5 stacks.
Really good. Yeah, because I think the problem became after D-Helm came out. Like, oh my god, I played against a Zed top. I played Yone top against Zed top. He went D-Helm, and he got Dirk. And I think he already has his Jack of all trades active, and it was Brutalizer, and he had Jack of all trades already.
Easy.
Too fast.
Yeah.
So I think it's because of D-Helm. I think is why they need to nerf it. So it's a big nerf, but you still have Precision Tree secondary, you still have Resolve Tree secondary. So just take one of those.
Yeah, and Cosmic Insight is a good rune, guys. It's a good
for your
rune.
Rocketbelt, which got
it's for Rocketbelt. Exactly, I take that on Syndra with
flashes more TP.
Yep, it's really good. It's really good. Okay, I think we finally got all the changes here. Honestly, small patch. I hope Riot pumps it up a little bit on the next patch. A little bit more mid changes. We like change. That's going to keep things fresh. Thank you all for watching. If you have any questions about any champions, check it down below in the comments. And if you want to get coached by us, check out the link in the description. Also, check out the link in the description for AJ's Twitch and AJ's YouTube channel. He's been smurfing it with the content lately. Insane player. You should check out his games. He's
and from an NNA.
And he's from the better region, so complete credibility here. Like, there we fucking go. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys real soon with a new video. Peace out, guys.